So I've added a bunch of additional lessons that I've added on our HTML page, and when you are designing, you want to have some consistency for the sections. You want something that the user can kind of expect to see, and when we look at this, it doesn't really look very consistent. So I've got this one as a black one, and then this one, just the heading is black here. So it's not really the consistency that I'm looking at when I'm using classes, because the classes are I've got this same class that's applied lesson over here, and I might not necessarily want to remove that because maybe there was a reason that I had set the class up there. So there's a few different ways to kind of be able to isolate out different sections and areas. So what I'm looking at here is I want to be able to isolate out my divs, and I've got a class there, and I want to really isolate out maybe all of these H2 tags and highlight them so that they can really look like they're separate predefined areas, and maybe just get rid of all of that. So I'm going to simply just remove out this lesson here and go back over to the document, refresh it, and see what this looks like. So now we see that our H2 tags, they're no longer, it's no longer easy to see that they are being differentiated. It all looks like kind of the same thing, and I actually did like it that they were getting highlighted. So the objective of this lesson is to highlight all of those H2s. And since we are only looking at all of the H2s, and we're only using H2s as those lesson titles, this is going to be an easy one for us to select. So we're going to select just H2 tags, and we're going to put a background there. So again, you can do it the two different ways. You can do it the shorthand, or you could do it the standard. So I'm just going to do it standard, and I'm just going to add in a background color. And go back out just to see what that's going to look like. And you can see that now it does stand out a little bit more, and maybe I'm going to add in some padding around it. And we're going to get into padding later on as well within this course. So you can see that what padding is essentially doing, it's moving that over, and I still don't really like the way that looks, so I'm going to have to go with a darker gray. Because remember, we're always looking at contrast as well as a way of really highlighting what we're doing, and we want this these to really contrast. We want the text to stand out from the background, so always take into consideration the contrast that you have between the front color and the back color, and always make sure that the text is actually readable and content-wise. So that's why I'm not really a big fan of having images in the background, because sometimes images, especially if you have like really colorful images or different variations of image shading, it can really throw off what text you've got over on top. So always make sure that you're wary of the difference between contrast. And so this is all we had to do in order to select our H2s. We took the ones that we're using anyway within the structure of the HTML code, and H2s, the simplest way was just simply to just grab the H2s. And this way we don't have to go down and add class to every single one. So in case we might not have added it we might have added it for some reason to this one, but not to the other ones. We're not selecting by class, and if we did want to select out all these, we don't want to go through the trouble of adding class to every single one. We want to just be able to differentiate and select that particular element that we're looking to work with.